So we're going to be taking a look at Santa Claus Vagar here. It's Christmas Miracles for Cloud9. We got the memes, boys. We got the memes. Okay, we're going to start all the way back in the hot, giggity, damnity, diggity, pick and ban phase. So AHQ is on red side, Cloud9 is on blue side. We see the bans coming through here. Cloud9 is doing some target banning with the Rise, denying that away from Ziv. I assume we got Rek'Sai away from Mountain as well as Elise, so it's a very jungle or jungler-centric pick ban phase right now. AHQ on the red side bans away the Lulu and the Mordekaiser. That denies the pick away from balls. Lulu is a very contested pick of this tournament given the strength of compositions that employ a Juggermaw play style. Mordekaiser is Mordekaiser, and then the Azir is banned away from Incarnation because, well, if you watch the Fnatic game today, that's why. So then Cloud9 responds by first picking Gangplank. You pretty much have to in this case. Incarnation doesn't show that he can play it in this game. They decided to keep it on balls. Not sure if that's just because Incarnation hasn't practiced it, doesn't feel comfortable on it, or if their Cloud9's keeping that quiet as of right now. So that's something that's a little up in the air. By the way, if my microphone like pops and makes some noises, let me know so I can fiddle with it. I had that issue on a video. I don't really see Darius ban Necrozia as something that really has to happen. Like, Darius is like, aside from like Balls' pentakill, he's kind of come off as just like a vanilla pick. We've seen Olaf do very well against him. We've seen Fiora's handle him. We've seen what's the big one? I'm missing it. I mentioned Olaf, Fiora, Renekton from Marin. Although to be fair, in that case, SKT did a great job of setting up Marin to just dominate Amazing J with their lane swap. So I don't really see Darius as being ban-worthy. I think that teams somewhat know how to play around it right now. It is an issue in this game, but then again, we're talking about a matchup where you have Ziv versus Balls, and no matter what you do, Ziv is just gonna just throttle the poor bastard. So yeah, he did. He quite did. But I think it's smarter of Cloud9. One thing that I think is coming out of this tournament that I really don't like is more of a priority on like the OP bans. I think if memory serving correctly, the teams that have done the best here have been focusing on like target bans. Like, you consider bans against LGD, they're struggling when TBQ is forced off of his main champions. You know, I think that those bans in that case are just far and away better than just going for the straight vanilla bans. Because, I mean, we're talking about teams with players who are mortal humans as of all, so I think everyone is just at the point where everyone's too scared to try stuff, and then they're like going to be bold enough to let stuff through. And I think, this game was like, what, third of the day? Something like that? I don't think Darius had done well up to this point.
Both Gangplank and Lulu will be open. And instantly, as I say, Cloud9 locks in left. That's the 3 picks we keep highlighting.
So we're going to get ahead. On into this. Yeah, so I don't know, and we don't know what they were seeing in scrims either. But I think that you first pick Gangplank and you probably first pick Lulu every time. I'm just going to let the gameplay audio do its thing. I'm having a massive frame drop for some reason. Apparently I'm suffering from drop frames, and that's no bueno. Let's get that. Okay, I'm going to drop my KBS just a little bit, just to see if I can stop the frame rate bleeding. Okay. Let's pause right here. Go over this. Lol, Necrozia. Only thing I think of with the Rise pick, I think that it probably does okay against Darius. I'm just, like, theory crafting off the top of my head. Like, he's a ranged champion, so he can farm at a distance. You know, we've seen Cloud9. Cloud9's probably assuming that they're going to go with Darius in this game for balls. We've seen them put it on him in the other two games. And, like, they first picked it against Fnatic. So, like, they really prioritized that pick for balls. So they're probably thinking, like, okay, we're going to get Darius for balls. We don't want him to go up against Rise, who Ziv plays, because then Ziv's just going to get, Ziv's just going to build up a huge farm advantage. Well, not really. Yeah, well, probably a farm advantage. Get his item stacking, because Balls probably isn't going to be able to aggress on him. Like, Darius is kiteable, and Rise just will have his snare mechanic going on, so good luck, kid. So Cloud9's probably assuming that they're going to get Darius in this game, but then the way it falls, AHQ is like, oh, we're not going to ban the Gangplank. And then Cloud9's like, well, right, well, we got to take that. So that's kind of like my thoughts on it. I think the Rise ban is, like, okay. Again, like the Darius, we don't see Darius take over games. Like, we really haven't. Like, maybe, I think once with Amazing J, but that was, like, against Bangkok Titans. Okay, so AHQ go with their bottom lane. They grab the Braum, which is going to help a little bit against the Gangplank. Kind of stops them to poke. They grab Callista as well, getting on one of his AD carries, I assume. Also denying it from Sneaky. You don't want to let Sneaky have freaking Callista. That's just asking for a beating. Lemonation goes for his signature Morgana and High, and we see these two picks come up again. Like, Cloud9 is just going for comfort picks. It's like, I think Cloud9 is doing something very well where they're just kind of like picking what they're really good at. Lemonation has been playing Morgana well. High actually has a good Lee Sin. That's just weird to say. Can we just say that? Like, top 20 things I didn't think I'd say in this life. Alright, so they go for Rengar and they go for Darius, so they're looking to snowball lanes, do the early ganking with Rengar. We know how that goes. And then here, this is where Cloud9 really shows their comp. Here they grab the Tristana, and they grab the Azir. No, not Azir. He's banned. Victor. Not Victor. Jesus Christ, kid. Get used to it. Veigar. They grab the Veigar here. Okay. So, Cloud9 has already basically built up their composition, and the identity of it goes like this. It scales very well. It's got a lot of wave clear. It's really a poke comp with the Tristana element as part of the siege. Well, it's less of a poke comp. It can poke, but it's really about sieging. You create the zones with the Gangplank barrels. You create the zones with the... I knew you'd do that, Necrozia. Going pink. It creates zones with Gangplanks, barrels, it creates zones with the event Horizon, and then that just frees up this Tristana to tear down these middle towers. Well, these towers throughout the entire map. And HQ they've gone with these picks where they have a very weak siege composition. So I think Cloud9 is both simultaneously punishing AHQ's draft as well as just going with what they had already come in with plan, which is to play a very tower-oriented pressure game. Oh my god. Beautiful, guys. And then Westdoor goes for Fizz. So... we see the... I mean, we know the problems with AHQ's composition. It's got really poor wave clear. Make sure this is written down. There we go. I mean, we know this is bad. Pardon me a moment, guys. I'm just gonna do this. Come here. Don't mind me, just doing some operations. I was gonna save a couple of pictures and whatnot, since I plan on making a little something out of this. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Let's bring you boys back for the front. Hey, that's smarted. Beautiful. I don't know if, let me know, like, I'm having, like, some weird drop of frames and stuff on my end. My gang's matter that much. Coming from a man who has a fucking glorious Tristana. Sneaky is so troll. Like, you can't trust, like... I feel like, I should say, you can't trust half the shit he says. It's so funny. Alex Itch had a tweet that was really hilarious. I should go find it. But, I mean, it was, like, spot on with how Sneaky and Lemon talk. By the way, if you guys want me to do anything with the game audio, let me know. I could maybe put on some music, although that hurts my ability to put it up on YouTube and make money off of that. A whole 2 cents of money. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Well, it's Travis, mate. Like, Travis doesn't really have the hard-hitting interviews. Like, that's just my perspective. I think it's very important that you have it. Like, you look at Incarnation, if he slips up on a lot of his Azir plays, I mean, it's just like, if Incarnation didn't have the mechanics that he did on Azir, you would not have the ball spent to kill today. So. I'm like tempted to put on music, but my iTunes like just doesn't come through my headset too well. My microphone will pick up the stereo, and that would just sound like garbage. And I'm like trying to wear this like this. Well, yeah, you gotta. I mean, that's like a fair point, I think. You know, and I mean, hey, they're making it work despite that. So, all right. Anyways, so standard starts. Okay, so Cloud9 is setting up a lane swap. And then they're going to show top on the ward. Ziv and Mountain are going to retreat. So this delays the jungle a little bit. So yeah, they're going to take that away from him. It's pretty smart. Anyway, so they see that AHQ's bottom lane isn't there. They know they're bot, so they're gonna. After that, they're gonna send Sneaky to the solo lane. soak up this solo farm. Cloud9 always does this. And then Albus is, yeah, doing those things. So, funnily enough, I'm willing to say this. If you play the lane swap style that Cloud9 does, if you take that and you have TSM employ it, it actually would help out Dyrus. Only problem, though, is that you'd be funneling your resources into Turtle, who isn't going to do shit, whereas Sneaky can carry a game alongside Incarnation. But still, it's Cloud9 is so smart with how they're handling their roster. They know Sneaky can carry, so they're going to put a ton of resources in him, but they're also going to make sure that Balls isn't completely screwed, and so that he has at least something to work with. So it's a very smart early game from Cloud9. It really shows their team how aware they are of where their strengths and weaknesses lie. So anyway, Ziv is going to teleport to the top lane. Let's see, does Sneaky have a point in his E? He might have taken a point in his E now. Anyways, Cloud9 can basically doesn't have to worry about Mountain doing any early plays. He's on Rengar. He doesn't really have great ganking pressure. He's not going to be able to invade the Lee Sin. And here we are. We got elimination with Balls in the bottom lane, making sure that Balls has the ability to farm. I think we're going to see this several times. Balls using his Q autoing, Jesus, rather than auto queuing so he can get the parlay stacks. High is chilling mid. He's waiting for Westor to move in onto Incarnation. I don't know. I think if you're high, let's look at this. That's Q range. I don't know why as high you don't just Q right now. Like, Westor uses Q, he still has his E, but, you know, you'd have to have, like, really fast reflexes to, like, dodge that E, or the Lee Sin Q, which he probably could. But, like, he lets, like, Westor get this auto-tech focus. He shows himself as well. So now Westor knows the Q is coming. Can anticipate it. So he goes back into the minion wave. Like, I think if you're high, you throw that Q out the second Westor moves in, and then you can get some good damage on him. Either way, like, it's still a successful gank. It forces Westor back in Incarnation, gets the flash out. So he ganks Westor, he claims his flash, and now he's like, okay, I don't have to worry about mid lane. Rengar's not going to be able to get in there on the Veigar until he's about level 6. Westor doesn't have his flash, so he has to be more careful. Now he's going to rotate on over, and you can see right here, he's already setting up, like, Sneaky swapped to bot. What was that, like 5:30? So they have the wave bouncing back from topside. You can tell by the little larger blob of red creeps. So it's going to be crashing right into balls, so he's going to get all this extra solo lane farm, solo XP. Sneaky has a level advantage in the 2v2. It's a very good... It reminds me of a Korean style lane swap. Without, like, a team trying to set up a dive on the top lane in the bottom. On the top lane or in the bottom lane. There we go. Now, only deal is that Ziv has been given, he's been able to farm in that solo lane because he was able to absorb a lot of the minions into the towers while Sneak was playing. So he's got this, Jesus, balls can't farm. He's got a 20 CS lead. According to Ryan Tang, Gold Pretend editor, who watches a lot more LCS than I do, like, High stepped up in his warding at this tournament. His warding was complete utter shit, and from what I remember the gauntlets, it pretty much was as well. Playing Lee Sin has helped him. Playing the Lee Sin has helped him. He's really stepped up his jungle play coming out this tournament. Anyways, yeah, so we see Balls just getting completely messed up here. So, like, Balls isn't going to win this lane, but he can at least approach it, he can at least farm, just because the waves are going to be crashing into it. So yeah, here's Incarnation, trading with the West Door. Alright, but now Mountain is level 6. So look where High is. He's mid. Now he knows the Rengar is 6. He's got a ward on the left side. Comes on right down. So High at this point should... He's not level 6 yet. This is namely just due to the farm discrepancy between the two. High's been showing up in the lanes a little more. He's been showing up in lanes more, like one time. But Mountain's been hard farming, so he gets about an on average level 6. He gets back for his item. High is going over to the blue buff, preparing that for Incarnation. But yeah, he should have. So 820. High should have basically known that Mountain was going to be coming that way. They're not going to really get a kill on the Gangplank with him being at how health he is. Bottom lane, it's a Morgana and a Tristana. Like, ganking that as Rengar just isn't an option, so you go for the immobile Veigar. Get a kill onto Estor. They actually look at this choice. So High is sacrificing his farm to prioritize his buff control. So Ziv's putting up this pressure. So you see, like, High stays there. He doesn't go for the mid lane farm that's crashing into the tower. He lets that die, and he prioritizes getting control of the blue buff for Incarnation. He's playing very selflessly right now. So this is the end of when AHQ looks good. But we're gonna look at how kind of handle the microgame. You can see that High and primarily Elimination. High hasn't been bot side a whole lot, and this is primarily Elimination's warding right here. Along with the Incarnation, I believe. No, he doesn't have Endure Space for ward. Let's actually go back and look. So Elimination gets a Sightstone way long ago in a galaxy far, far away. So at 8, yeah, about 8 minutes. So that's Lemination's peak. We think we can assume that is either Balls' pink or Sneaky's pink. So anyways, they see... Yeah. They know Rengar is hard farming, so... But when we look here, we see Lemonation go off on his own to do that warding. Hai isn't with him. He's not providing backup against him. Now, this may just be a result of they're playing against a Rengar, and they know that, okay, there's not really a whole lot that Rengar can do. Lemonation just has to land a snare. He can walk away. He has the black shield. But we don't see them coordinating to get deeper vision down. They're not playing against this Rengar correctly at first. There's no deep vision to track this Rengar. Now, to be fair, just to remember context, Rengar doesn't have his ultimate up. They know that, so there's like no danger. Anyway, so we went way back. There's the blue buff leash. Here's the wave going into the tower. Wester's coming back in. Mountain's ultimate is about to come right back up. So when it comes to warding against Rengar, think like Evelyn, because Rengar is going to be able to approach you with invisibility out of his jungle, so you need to place the wards on his camps, and Hai isn't going in there right now. Goes back, he buys a ward. So Mountain is once again sitting up in the mid lane for this gank, and this is where his Rengar play begins to just go to shit. And Incarnation's doing this very well. He doesn't have flash. He knows Westeros has flash. He knows Mountain's going to be gunning for him. Super early ult for Mountain. He waits for it. Yeah, no, Incarnation played very defensively there. It was good. I don't understand some Twitter accounts. Okay, so Balls is down 30 CS. He's got a wave crashing into him. About like 2 waves, so we can probably say 20 CS still. Once he picks that all up. No, that's like about 6. 25, excuse me. Sneaky's getting his BF sword. Again, we see Sneaky Elimination. Like, Hai isn't visiting them. He's not ganking for this lane. He's not going to it. Like, Cloud9, like, when Sneaky Elimination, they can win this lane on their own. Cloud9 is up against, basically, the bottom lanes in this group. Cloud9 is either better than or equal to. You could argue equal to with Reckles and Yellow Star. Laning, they certainly hold their own. That's you know, that's what we're concerned with the lane phase. So, Hai, once again, visits Incarnation. And to be fair to this analysis, Sneaky is like legitimately good, and Lemon's laning has also been acceptable. So this is the one lane that Incarnation does not have to worry about. So now he's able to spend his time making sure that that Sneaky and Lemonation are absolutely fine. Doesn't have to worry about that. He can take care of Incarnation in the mid lane, make sure he's not getting messed up when he's on an immobile champion like Vhagar, and then he can also spend some time working with Balls. So long as Balls getting farm, he's absolutely fine. Anyways, but right now they're sacrificing him because they have the vision control. They just took the bottom tower, and they're going to go for this dragon. Mountain's coming top. But here's Incarnation with the teleport to threaten him back. Ultimately, it's a very good counter dive. So it's a very good play. The teleport from Incarnation, this is AHQ not respecting it. Not really used to playing against a double teleport meta. So it's a really good handling from Cloud9. But we don't see Incarnation take teleport on the other mid laners he plays because it's always a 0. But it's really good handling of that dive. It stops Mountain from going on. It expends a Summoner spell from them from Incarnation, but that's fine. Cloud9 get the pressure on bot, and they take the dragon. This gives them so much objective control. The fact that Sneaky does not need ganks to win his lane. He's a little bit behind in CS. That's fine. He just took the bottom tower. Now, once again, High can come mid. And now they immediately get damage onto the mid tower. Meanwhile, if you look at Mountain's warding, possibly Albus's, I think Albus has been largely tied down in the bottom lane. If you look at this warding up here, like, what good is this right now? High isn't spending his time in the top side. He's spending it down here at Dragon. He wants to snowball from the bottom lane. He's gonna lead. He's gonna, Ball's gonna have enough wards. Maybe High donates 1 or 2 to make sure that he keeps his ass safe, but he's not gonna be playing around there unless Balls goes down in a kill. Unless Balls goes down in a kill. So anyways, here's Elimination just like showing his face in mid instead of going out to roam to get vision. Now to be fair, he's actually catching this farm for Incarnation. High is here. Okay, so this is like prime time for Lemon and Incarnation to, not Incarnation, Lemon and High to join together and, I don't know, go invade the blue buff area. Fizz is backing. This is why Elimination is bad. Or okay. Here's High warding on his own. Here's Lemon chilling in lane. Now I don't know if it's because Lemon is out of wards. I can't really read the numbers too well. But like right here, if this was score and Pickaboo, this whole blue jungle would be warded. If Rengar was down here, you'd know exactly. Now, yeah, and Balls is just playing back. High does all the invade warding. High did all of that invade warding. Now, again, to try and be fair Elimination, I don't know if he's out of wards in his inventory. I think it's been a while since he's backed. But he's just sitting in mid lane, soaking up XP and taking it from Incarnation rather than going in with High. Sweeping out wards, getting really good Ring of Vision down. That said, High has a really great ward spread. Crazy to think that this game is going to end in 7 minutes. So yeah, but now look, like they got these deep vision down, so Sneaky can push this up and then rotate over to the mid. He sees the Rengar coming, so now he's gonna go back. Mountain is looking for him. Excuse me. Thrill the hunt to Gromp. Mountain is a god. Mountain is a Rengar god. It's just so bad. But here we go. But right there. Deep vision. This is what you do against the Rengar. Imagine if Elimination and High grouped up and did this earlier. If I said Incarnation, I meant High. But High is playing all of his vision down into the bottom side so that Sneaky can just create pressure. And then here we go. Really good combo. Here comes the siege. This is such a monstrous siege comp. Like, just how much you zone with this comp is disgusting against this comp. And then, yeah, then there's no reason for Albus to hold this. They can't hold this comp. This is just a systematic failure of AHQ's comp. And then as Jat just mentioned, look at all this pressure. Like the fact that they can snowball sneaky. Balls, what they do, they get him to survive the laning phase. He doesn't feed kills. He just tries to farm, keep up as much as he can. And then Sneaky wins the bottom lane with High not having to do a whole lot of visiting there. High's making sure Incarnation is safe, making sure that he can secure dragons in the early game. And then once Cloud9 is able to snowball Sneaky out of the way, they create pressure with these high pushing compositions that let balls pick up towers. It's at 15. It's really a great way to play around balls. Like, if TSM had a decent AD carry, they could totally do this with Dyrus. Alright, and so then Wester goes bot. Not a whole lot of vision on the top red side. We see High backing right now. He didn't have any wards. I noticed that number at the very least. They're buying plenty of wards. It's very good. I'm taking notes, Zenta. You need to. I've already done like one rotation of notes, but now I'm like looking for specific things. Here is, look, two lovers never destined to meet. The tragic love story of Morgana and Lee Sin. So they leash it over to Sneaky. They see all of AHQ on this bottom side with their wards. So like, okay, we're going to let them do that, and then we're going to sweep on in and get this vision picked up. High just swept brush down there. Elimination sneak, Trinket is almost up. And then Mountain does an ultimate right here, and he doesn't want to face check. 3 ultimates in a row, Mountain has done absolute shit. Like, when your competition plays like this, you're going to win. Anyway, so now, I don't even know if Cloud9 knows that they took that, but now, here's all 3 of them, High, Lemon, and Incarnation coming in together. Hold on. Apologize, Zenta. So anyways, here's Incarnation drawing pressure. He made a play. He claimed Westor's ultimate. And then Cloud9 move up the mid. They pressure it at 18. Look at it, yeah. So, High covered the deep, and Elimination covered the mid. This is what they accomplished when they ward together. Anyway, so then after pushing up mid, so they, once again, they've used Sneaky's ability to create pressure, made it into a dragon. Oops, shouldn't have done that. Incarnation just comes back to mid. Very quickly, very easily. And at this point, like, AHQ can literally do nothing. On the bottom side, mind you. Cloud9 is investing all their vision into bottom. They don't do anything with top. In this game. Anyways, thank you for the follow, by the way, Tails. On Twitch. Very nice to have you. Good work against Ziv. He's getting his fucking face shoved in, dude. Like, he's living. But I suppose at the same time, the fact that Balls has no deaths in a 20-minute game against a top laner like Ziv is doing good for Balls. And but then, like, look, like, yeah, it's like Incarnation can just forever stall. Again, this is just like how bad AHQ's comp is, though. And then what happens when Balls goes up against, like, Westor? He just gets destroyed. And then what does High do? Then, you know, Melee goes in. Pretty good Lee Sin mechanics. CC chain for days. I mean, they just pick them apart. Mountain is an NA Rengar. Good flash by Elimination. Westor's coming in. But he just expended his ultimate. This is just part of Cloud9's team comp being so much better than AHQ's, or rather just like winning this matchup. Like, there's no reason for Westor to actually be going for kills onto Balls. He's not going to do anything. Alright, so let's watch this a little slower. High, fairly average, well, you know, it's good insec. Ziv's squishy enough at this point, doesn't really have MR, and Incarnation can burst him, and then they have so much CC. Westor is out of position, way down the bottom lane, so, I mean, it's the person that they can catch out. And, like, Ziv is not able to do anything in this spot. Yeah, no, Elimination does good bindings. And then here's Mountain, like, trying to, like, look at this. This is garbage. Like, wait for Albus to be throwing in as you jump so then you can at least do some damage. This is just really poor fighting from AHQ. Incarnation bottles up Albus so they can't help Westor. Elimination is just holding down Mountain by himself. He could be peeling back here, but it's whatever. Again, like, Elimination will just go off on his own. Like, Mountain can't re-engage. There's no point to hold him down or use your ultimate there. Anyway, so Sneaky just being God. Incarnation with or Elimination with another good binding. What is the cooldown on that Event Horizon? He throws out like 3 in that like 10 seconds. It's a little bit batty nuggets is all. Anyway, so now Cloud9 with the Event Horizon control, with the CC follow-up. There's High being like, hey, Mountain, get fucked. It's a really good pick by High. Look at that. You know your composition, by the way. You know your composition is just hilariously failing when your invisible player can be targeted by the blind man on the enemy team. Just saying. There's a pink over here, but like ignoring the context of the game and just considering the lore, it's just hilarious. So, High has a really good pick, and then like immediately, like Incarnation rotates over to follow up on it, and then Balls places ult right there, clogs the whole lane, and then now Sneaky can just reset and go a little batty nuggets. Those crits. And then they can just end the game like this, just because how bad AHQ's comp is. But anyway, so we see Cloud9 let Sneaky get ahead so that he can... They put him in a solo lane. He can take over the bottom lane. He doesn't need attention from the jungle. He doesn't receive attention from AHQ's jungle. They're able to, you know, within a minute of him taking down the bottom tower, they take Dragon, then they take the middle tower, and then they do the same thing again, where they push up the mid lane, they create pressure there, then they fall back on the Dragon using the zoning from Incarnation to make sure AHQ can't defend the towers or pick up a couple kills themselves, and then Sneaky just rips through these towers incredibly quickly. That's how this comp works. That is how the comp work. Yar.